Hello, Moment friends! Ending here for another episode of the epic story. When we last left off, we were getting ready to go on a picnic with Pippin, but that's not what we're doing this episode because we have to talk to Ornithar. But before we do even that, you may notice up here that these numbers are a little bit higher. You might even notice that they're about 3,500 higher morale, and that might be because I was a little bit busy this last weekend. I'm recording this right before March of the King comes out and decided I wanted to update my champion, get all the virtues updated and all that stuff. And then I realized that my lore master hasn't really done virtues, and I knew that, but I had been kind of ignoring it, not really giving it the due attention it deserved. And now I have decided to just really start doing virtues. And so, as you can see here, these were initially an average of about 5 or 8, somewhere around there. Now we have 3 19s, a 16, and an 11. The reason this one's so low is because it's mostly side quest related, and I didn't really want to break my side quest rule to do deeds where, I'm not doing any type of questing on this character. I'm trying to avoid as much of it as I can. And because of that, loyalty is only at 11 because they really weight loyalty to be involved with the quests of the area. That changed later on, but early on there's a ton of questing things that are all loyalty. Because of that, loyalty is only at 11. Everything else, though, and what I'm really proud about is that Wisdom, which I consider the Lore Master skill because it's got Gandalf on it and it gives you will and all sorts of awesome stuff, and so I consider that the Lore Master skill and really glad that I got that up to 19. So that is pretty much everything I've been doing. You might think, but it's not, because I actually got a ton of LI work done, where I had I think an 85 and a 65 LI, which was really bad. That's why I was having so many issues with leveling and all that stuff. But now we got a really good LI where let me move this out of behind my camera. We now have Stormbringer. You can figure out what that's referencing to yourself or ask in the comments below and I'll be happy to tell you guys. But as you can see, this thing is insane. Every single, and I mean every single legacy on this item is damage increasing. Every single one of them increases the damage. That's awesome. And we also got Will as a crafted item. We already had these tier 10 relics in here. We just removed them from the previous item. But got tier 10, or top tier level 90 crafted item. I don't know if that's actually the top anymore, but it was what was the highest on the auction house, so that's what I got. Also, we have Book of Storms. This is our level 100 third ager. For those that don't know, first agers and third agers are actually very close together, and so I decided to just go with this third ager because it had so many damage skills on it as well. They're all damage. And so this one's much more fire damage with one exception, which is it has one on here that gives extra light damage and lightning damage. And so we're getting 75% or more lightning damage as buffs to our weapon or our lightning skills, which is just absolutely insane. And then on top of that, we have all of the extra tactical damage and all of that stuff, which tactical damage is what goes towards all of the lore mastery type skills that involve lightning and all the other stuff. And so because of that, we have a ton more damage, not to mention all the critical damage and all sorts of extra stuff that's involved here. And we actually applied one of the special titles to this weapon that was Critical Storm 3, which if that's not a lore master thing, I don't know what is. And it actually gives us an extra 5% lightning damage on top of everything we already have, giving us extra damage. And so this has been just the biggest increase in skill I've ever had on any character from below level 100 to now level 100, where, that switch to level 100 made a huge difference because I was finally able to start using these level 100 LIs. And this is probably the biggest single jump I've ever had on any character. and it's kind of insane. This Lightning Storm skill is an AoE skill. Every single enemy gets these 3 attacks of up to over 8,000 lightning damage per strike, meaning over 24,000 lightning damage, and then on top of that, we have extra fire damage that can be done if it gets a crit. And so that means that this skill can basically one-shot every single normal mob that's on level with me. It is insane, and it can do up to 5 targets that way. So I can one-shot up to 5 normal targets at once. Absolutely insane. And the crazy thing is, this isn't even all the DPS that it'll be doing, because on my LIs, you can notice that this one still has a long way to go. And we still have upgrades to do. You notice we've really only upgraded this skill. Those of you that don't know, you don't have to use mithril points to actually upgrade these. There's actually Emphalis Scrolls of Empowerment, I think they're called, that you can apply that will actually upgrade the damage on this. And so that's what I'm in the process of doing. They're at skirmish camps, they're at reputation type things, they're all over the place. And I'm in the process of getting all of that done on both this and the other weapon. And so when I'm done, this skill will probably do over 10,000 lightning damage per each of these 3 attacks. So over 30,000 lightning damage at once, just at 105, let alone what happens later on. And so my lore master is set for like the next however long. I should be good on damage and all that stuff, especially now that you can imbue and your items can just stay with you and grow with you, so you don't have to keep getting new ones all the time. So I should be good for a pretty long time now, and I'm really excited about that, and can't wait to just continue on with these stories. So hopefully you guys weren't bored going through all that. Hopefully that was interesting, but I just had to share that I've had the largest increase in my character, in any single character that I've ever had. I mean, this really was a total transformation of my character. I'm doing over 2.5 times more damage than I was before. That's pretty insane that every single skill on here is doing over 2.5 times more damage. And the craziest thing is, this skill already does a ton of damage, and then on top of that, they give you a pet. So I'm doing so much damage. It's just insane, and I'm really excited to be continuing. So let's do that.
Welcome to the Dome of the Sun, where meets the Council of Gondor.
Word of your deeds is moving throughout the city like a fire in the brush. It sounds as if you have had many adventures, and saved many good folk from the swords and axes of evil. May you continue to do so on our behalf, worthy Loremaster. You have just missed a meeting of the Council, but if you go within, you may be able to lend some aid to Arandor, Chief Scribe of the Council. The meetings have been continuous of late, and the number of raised voices I have heard from my position here has only increased in recent days. It seems no 2 voices can agree on a single course of action, for each member of the Council has his own interests to look after. Can they not see that we must be united if we are to survive the coming storm? Lots of Loremaster references in there. Just saying. Fire in the bush and coming storm. Just saying. Lots of Loremaster references. I'm just a doorward. It is not my place to speak so. There are some in the city who speak against the Council, but you will not find me speaking such sedition. Except you just did, but okay, yeah, won't find you. Alright, it's time to Time to enter the Dome of the Stun. Stun? The Dome of the... If I can speak, that will be a miracle. Time to enter the Dome of the Sun and talk to this guy. A model of the White City stands in the center of the room. Yeah, well, yes it does. I love this. I mean, look at this. This is just... this is ridiculous. This is awesome. Let's have Hairball come and, attack the city. That's awesome. Alright, buddy, let's talk.
Yes? I wonder if you might do me a favor.
Yes? Ah, you must be Staffding, the lore-master of whom Mythrender speaks so highly. I am sorry to tell you that you have just missed a meeting of the council. See the state in which they have left this place? I wonder if you might do me a favor. I need to finish organizing these papers. Perhaps you might gather up the rest of the notes scattered about the chamber. The members of the council are masters of the various duties, but they trust that I will note down the matters of decision, and do not stay behind to ensure I have recorded everything. I do my own duty as best I may, but I must ensure nothing slips by my notice amid the confusion. Yes, I'm sure you're a noteworthy scribe. Scribbled notes all over the place. Alright, we get to collect 8 papers. Fantastic. Really just so excited to be using all this extra damage I've gathered to be picking up papers. But no, this is important work, I'm sure. I'm sure that everybody needs this type of help right before the impending doom of the end of Minas Tirith, but you know, I'm sure it's fine. Yes, thank you for walking through me, buddy. Really appreciate that. Alright, let's see here. That should be the last one. Alright. Where did he go? Wrong table. He's over here.
I am nearly ready. Let me copy these down.
Thank you very much. Let me copy down any of the important matters from these papers, and then I will have another request for you. It will not be long. Ah, yes, the infamous waiting quest. Luckily, they have reduced this, I believe, because I think it used to be 8 minutes, but now it's just 1, so that is much better. But we do have to wait here, which means perfect time to do a handstand off the very tip of Minas Tirith here. And there we go. Alright, let's do it up here because it looks like it clips through there. Cool. Looks like he's done now, so we can talk to him.
I need someone to bring these resolutions throughout the city.
Oh, there we go. I've finished writing out the Council of Gondor's most recent resolutions. Now I need someone to bring these throughout the city so the leaders can take the appropriate action. Normally I would send an errand rider, but if you'd like to meet some of the members of the council, perhaps you would like to perform this duty of an errand rider. Very good. Here is the stack of resolutions that will require immediate action. They are labeled with the correct recipients. Do you see? Here is the list. Torchin, the warden of the Houses of Healing. Acadian, the captain of the garrison. Celifir, the warden of the coffers. Miradil, the warden of the stores. Thank you for this, Staffding. You will be doing the city a great service, but will get absolutely no reputation for it. Congratulations. Here is the first council member.
As you know, I am the warden of the Houses of Healing.
That was very fast, Staffding. Don't ask me how I know your name. Perhaps you should become an errand rider for the city. I suppose it would be difficult for you to leave the adventuring life behind, but prompt delivery of a message is something that should be prized, and you seem quite skilled at it. As you know, I am the warden of the Houses of Healing. At the council meeting that just concluded that you weren't at, I requested an increase in supplies and goods for use of my helpers. Spare cloths, water for boiling, warm blankets, you know, the things healers need. The council agreed with the principle of my request, but not to its whole extent. I have been granted an increase, but a small one. It is better than no increase at all, I suppose, but we will need to take blankets and cloths from evacuated houses, for their owners have no current need of them, and I will arrange with the warden of the wells to provide me with spare blankets. Alright, well, I guess we will go do that too. Alright, and here is the lunch we need to pick up for Pippin, so we will go ahead and do that. Here we go. And yes, we do get to carry this all the way back up to the top. There is Peregrine Took, right here at the top. You set out the picnic lunch and everything looks delicious.
Do not be shy, my friend. Let us dig in.
Ah, look at this delicious spread, Stafting. I see why Gandalf spoke so highly of the Thirsty Seer. It's his favorite tavern in Minas Tirith, apparently, and I can see why. Well, do not be shy, my friend. Let us dig in, and we can talk after we have taken the edges from our appetites. It tastes delicious.
Why did we come here? Well, Gandalf thought... Well, you see...
That is a good start, but by no means is it an end. I will nibble a bit while we speak, if that is all right with you. You asked Pippin how he came to the White City. Oh, Gandalf brought me here. I slept much of the way, but Shadowfax is the swiftest of his kind, and he was at a gallop for most of the journey. Why did we leave our friends behind? Well, Gandalf thought he just thought I should see Minas Tirith, is all. The others had their own plans, and, you know, he's a wizard. Pippin awkwardly stops speaking and picks at the food in silence. You wonder at his sudden evasiveness, and decide to have a little more of the lunch. Alright, here we go, more lunch. It tastes very good, but you are becoming worried about Pippin. You sip the brew, and it refreshes you. That rhymes, all the time.
I wasn't entirely honest with you, and I'm sorry for it.
Gandalf did not bring me to Minas Tirith without cause, or a simple sightseeing trip. I know you were not deceived, but it is difficult to speak of, and I am still ashamed that I might have worked some harm. Not on purpose, mind you. Gandalf called me a fool once or twice, and he was right to do so. But I never endanger my friends on purpose. There was an artifact at Isengard. Wormtongue threw it down from the tower, intending to do some harm to either Saruman or Gandalf, and I saved it from rolling away into a pool. Gandalf claimed it soon afterwards, but not soon enough. I found I could not stop thinking about the Dark Globe. I stole it away from the wizard when he slept, and looked into it, Stafting. I saw. Pippin trails away into silence, shame and fear written upon his face. Pippin stands and gazes off into the distance.
I saw a tall tower and a black sky, and wheeling shapes.
Like bats, but much larger and more frightening. And then I saw him. He looked at me, and his voice came not to my ears, but to my mind, if that makes any sense. He asked me questions, and when I did not answer, I felt a searing pain. I told him I was a hobbit, and his laughter was cruel. He said I would see him soon, and then Gandalf broke the spell and took away the stone. The artifact was a seeing stone, a Palantir, and Saruman had used it to communicate with his Dark Master. Gandalf would not tell me very much about the stone, but he seemed to think we escaped a much worse fate through a lucky chance of good fortune. I think he was right. I could not turn my eyes from the stone, and if that horrible figure had continued his questions, I know I would have answered him. What else might he have shown me in the Palantir? I cannot guess. and do not wish to. This is not the sort of conversation that suits a picnic standing. Let us clean up our food, and we shall speak again back at my post. Alright, let's clean it up here. Alright, well, I think this is a good place to end this episode off. Thank you everyone so much for watching. When we return, we will be helping Pippin get everything he needs to get done and learn more about this story, hopefully. But that is not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of The Epic Story.